Hello everyone, today I have another model to add to the tow truck collection. This is actually a brand new 2018 model, and this is the 1956 Ford F100 Tow Truck, and it's R17 is the series it's in, and it's one of the builder kits, so it comes with the lift on its platform, and then there's also multiple building options. Looks like there's an inline, I believe it would be an inline 6 motor that's blue inside the package there, and then there's also a V8 option that's gold. So obviously I'll go with the gold option with the V8. I think that's more appropriate. And then also it comes with a set of two sets of wheels. One of them is the Moon style wheels. So being that this is a Moon truck, I'll go ahead and go with that. But it's pretty similar. It looks like the back half of the truck is the same as the Ford pickup F100. I believe it was an F100. Double check here. Yes, it was the 1967 Ford F100 tow truck, so you can see that in the background there. That's that white, blue, red Ford tow truck. So it has the same back cab, it looks like, or not back cab, but the same back half of the tow section. But instead of being red as in the Ford, this one's going to be black and yellow. It also has the same tow hook on the back. So we'll go ahead and get started building this, and we'll add it to the collection. Also mention that it's limited to 7,880 pieces, so it's not one of the most limited, but fairly limited. And I did find this at Walmart, is actually where I picked this up just recently. So we'll go ahead and open up the box and get started. Okay, as you open up the box, you'll have this part set here. So it comes with two sets of tires, looks like, and actually the interior has white sets of seats. So that's kind of a nice feature. Instead of just being black, it's actually going to have white seats. And then, as I mentioned, the two rim choices as well, and I'm going to go with the Moon Eyes style rims. And then inside that, you'll find your instructions as well as your screwdriver. I already have a couple. And actually there's an extra set of wheels and tires in there as well, so maybe that's because it's probably a dually model, so it's probably because of that. And then also your axles will be in there as well. And there's 4 of those. I believe those will be the same length. I don't think they'll be any different, so I'm sorry. So inside you'll find your little package with a screwdriver, and then there's actually an extra set of wheels in here. I believe that's for the dually section of this truck. Never assembled a dually, but I imagine that's why there's extra wheels and tires in here. And then the 4 axles are included as well, which will only need 2 of those, and they should be the same length. And then, of course, the instructions. Then also included is, of course, the actual vehicle. It's mounted, as it comes out of the box, it's actually mounted on the lift. And so we'll go ahead and have to remove that from the base, and then it'll be ready to get started. The newer models I've noticed looks like all of them, or at least most of them, come with the doors pre-attached. And the hood as well, so that's probably a good choice, because I know on some of the earlier models that there was some issues with just the doors not fitting properly. I actually did a Shelby GT350R 1965 model recently, and had to bend the doors a little bit, and they didn't have the best fitment, but still was able to assemble the model. But definitely that seems like a good choice to me, to go ahead and have that pre-factory assembled, and I think we'll have a lot better results. So we'll go ahead and remove that from the base, and we'll get started assembling. And a nice little Moon Eyes backdrop as well. It comes with this kit. See, that kind of is inside there, so that's a nice little backdrop. We'll just leave that in the background for now. We're just removing these 2 screws from the bottom of the base. Once those are loose, then we can go ahead and remove the truck from the pedestal. It may be a little tight getting it out of here because it's so tall. There we go. Okay. Alright, so there's the basic truck chassis. We'll go ahead and remove the base chassis part of the vehicle now, so we can go ahead and install the interior and then get the axles installed as well. So again, there's just going to be 2 screws, I believe, maybe 3 on this model actually. We'll find out here in a minute, but there's at least 2 screws that we'll need to loosen to remove this bottom chassis. So one in the front. Almost got that free. Okay. And there's a screw in the middle as well. It's probably because this is a 2-piece model, that's probably why there's 3 screws. So I believe there are 3 we'll have to remove. But we'll find out here soon how all that works. Okay, so that's the middle screw. And we'll go ahead and remove the rear screw now. So there'd actually be 3 total. Okay, so now it should pop off. Yep. Shouldn't be too difficult to remove this. I think it's catching in the front just a little bit. So yeah, there we go. Okay, so we got it free now. So there's, and actually I didn't realize this, but there's actually a hook, kind of 2-prong plastic pieces on the front of the back section, and those kind of hook it onto the cab section. So that's good that that kind of holds that together even without the screws on the chassis. But I imagine if you customize, you could probably remove that and install it with other parts. So, but as I mentioned, the doors are already installed, so you can see the screws on the bottom of the door hinges there. Looks like the steering wheel is, well, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. It looked like it was kind of the side, but it might be the way it's supposed to be. So go ahead and install the interior next. And we'll go ahead and remove all these parts from the little package here. Let's move this rear. We'll move the chassis back here in the background for a second. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open this package with our accessories. And it's not wanting to come loose very easily. It's sticking to the paper. There we go. Just be real careful. These could, these are pretty small parts, so you don't want to lose any of them. Okay, so we'll go ahead and remove these. Okay, let's see what all we have here in this kit. So again, here's the interior. So we'll put that in here shortly. Here is the stock. It looks like kind of hubcap option, and then here's the moon eye option. So they're both chrome, kind of a circular style, but just one has a bigger wheel. You know, the inner diameter is a little bit bigger on the moon style. The other one's kind of a smaller, tinier inside circle inside the rim. So we'll go ahead and get those separated out and kind of sort those. Take the ones out we're not going to use. Okay, and then the tires, I'll have to take a look. I don't know if there's a difference in these tires. They all look the same, I think. Yeah, the tires don't have any difference that I can really notice. So as far as I can tell, they're all the same. So we may just have some extras left over after we're done building it. But first step, they usually say to go ahead and install the engine, so we'll do that now. So we'll just need to raise the hood. I don't know if I showed the front end yet, but there's kind of the front end of the pickup as well. So it's kind of that classic Ford style. Also has some logos on the hood. Okay, we'll go ahead and install this. As I said, we're going to go ahead and put the V8 in there. So we'll take this I think it's an inline 6. It's pretty nicely detailed. You can see that, but we'll go ahead and take that out. and we will install the V8, as should be in all Ford vehicles. Okay, we'll go ahead and install the V8 now. It's pretty nicely detailed. It's got some gold paint. There's a black air cleaner in the middle of it, and it's got some valve cover detail on the sides as well. It's kind of a silver. So there's going to be 2 tabs on the front of that, and just line them up with tabs inside the engine compartment. And they recommend to glue this in place. I'm not going to do that at this point, but you could always do that if you're worried about it. And actually, I just attached the cab while I was doing that. So okay, so now it's back in place. That's no big deal. Okay, so there's the engine in place now, if you can see that. And so next we'll go ahead and install the interior. It should just fit onto the chassis, I believe, actually. Yes, there's 2 little posts on that bottom of the chassis here, or the seats, and they'll just fit onto the chassis. There's 2 little posts on there as well. So we'll go ahead and put that in place. And just make sure you put that toward the front. Okay, so that's all there was to that. And again, you could probably glue that in place if you wanted to, but it should stay in place once we screw everything back together. So that's now installed on the chassis, so that was pretty straightforward. The dash is already installed in the vehicle, so we don't have to worry about that. So the next step will be to go ahead and install the rims on the tires. That can be a bit of a challenge, but you just kind of work around until they go on correctly. So I'll probably cut through this process and show them finished, but you basically just work it around the tire until it's on there. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this came with kind of an inner rim, so that axle will actually go through this inner dually wheel for the rear of the vehicle. So the kit actually came with 10 total rims, but 2 of those are the inner rims for the rear wheels. So you need to put tires on those as well. Okay, we got all of our wheels assembled now, so we're going to go ahead and start putting the chassis back on first, and then we'll go ahead and install the wheels after that. Okay, so again, we'll have the 3 screws to reattach the chassis to the body, just like we removed earlier. So there'll be 1 in the front and 1 kind of toward the middle and 1 in the rear. You may want to note as well that one of the screws, I believe, was longer. I put that in the middle. I think is where it goes. One more screw to go in the rear, and then we should be in pretty good shape. There it went. Okay, so all the chassis screws are back in place. So now we're ready to go ahead and start installing the axles. So in order to install the axles, we'll go ahead and press the outer wheels on each side onto the axle, and then we'll slide the axle through the chassis, and then we'll install the wheels on the opposite side. So we'll start with the rear, and again we have the inner wheel. So this could be kind of interesting. I've never done one this style. Okay, so I've now installed the two axles on one half of them. You need to find a hard surface to push down on those pins, especially for the rear wheels for the dually. Now it slid on there easy once it went, but it was kind of sudden. You had to push pretty hard, so I had a flat metal surface I pushed it against on the metal pin side, and I pushed the tire from the top to slide it through that. And once it got on there, it slid real easily, and then you can just slide that outer wheel on top of that one as well. And then they kind of fit together. So now that we got both halves, the axles together, we'll go ahead and install that in the chassis next. And just slide it through these little slots, probably blocking your view, but there's little slots on the sides of the chassis, and you'll just install them in there. And so next we'll go ahead and just push against it on the other side. Okay, so I had to just kind of push the two sides of the wheels together with my fingers, just kind of pinch it together, and then it snapped into place eventually. The front wheels are a little bit tight. It doesn't roll the best. That may loosen up, or maybe I need to adjust the wheels a little bit so they're not so tight against the chassis. But overall, it's a nice looking model. Body fitment's real good on it and everything. The hood lines up good and closes correctly. The doors open and close correctly. You have nice body gaps. Good looking vehicle. So overall, I'm very impressed with this model. I think it turned out very nice. We'll go ahead and line up all the forward haulers now together. So there's again the 56 F100 tow truck. Then we've got the 67 F100 tow truck. And then we have the 1970 F350, I believe. Yes, F350 ramp truck, which was from the Greenlight series. It's not from M2 machines. The other two were from M2 machines. So we've got a decent lineup of Ford tow vehicles now. Okay, so here's going to be a rotating display of the Moon Eyes pickup and get kind of a view of all the sides of it. Again, there's a tow hook in the rear as well as a tow haul on the back of the bumper on the back section of the truck. And it's a pretty sharp looking vehicle. You know, it has the yellow paint, has the Moon Eye logos on the sides, and it says Moon Equipment Company Speed Shop, and there's some small writing below that, and it says Go With Moon on the hood. Then you see the Ford crest in the front of the hood there, and then it also says Cool on the back bumper, I believe, and it has radio equipped on the rear of the side of the body as well. It's outlined in yellow on the black paint. So I think it's a pretty nice model overall. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So if you guys liked the video, go ahead and subscribe, and we'll have more of these coming shortly. Thanks.